Hey you, fellow gamer, do you like games that give you the best bang for your buck? Or how about buck for your bang? Bang, bang, bang. Well, look no further because I have the best video for you, Jarek Defiler's Patient Gaming Replayability Extravaganza Bonanza. Woo! Come with me as I look at some of the best video games for replayability throughout history. We got your Skyrim, your Divinity, Kenshi, and Warband too, so sit that sexy ass down and prop open them eyes and ears for Jarek Defiler's most replayable video games of all time. In number 1, modded Skyrim. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Jarek Defiler. You all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you're. Okay. All seriousness, yes, modded Skyrim is without a doubt one of the best, if not the best, games to delve into for replayability. Not only is the vanilla version worth replaying multiple times, despite its flaws, but modding Skyrim is like taking your significant other to a high-end Illuminati-level plastic surgeon/therapist every few months in order to improve every aspect of their being. Sure, you love them for who they are at their base value, but what's wrong with a new coat of paint or a complete brainwashing overhaul of their psyche now and again? And in Skyrim, you got mods up the wazoo. There's quality of life mods that improve things like combat, UI management, NPC dialogue, and sex with orcs. You also got mods to improve graphics, environmental functions like weather systems and foliage enhancers, as well as improve character models while having sex with orcs. Speaking of characters, you got a plethora of mods that not only improve the vanilla NPCs of Skyrim, be it through AI enhancements, dialogue cleanup, or even narrative-focused mods, but you also have mods that introduce new characters entirely, like orcs, that you can have sex with. You also have these awesome quest mods that either improve or implement new quest lines, and my personal favorite mods, besides, are these DLC-sized mods that bring entirely new areas to Skyrim with their own quest lines, cities, voice actors, tons of NPCs, monsters, and more. Break down. These mods are what makes me proud to be a gamer. People created these for free, for fun, or just for the love of the game. Mad respect to these absolute modding beasts whom I would graciously fall to my knees and suck the toes of thee if I was deemed blessed enough to be within their presence. All hail the modders. But let's move on, my friends, for there are many games to recommend with so little time. For instance, you got what I consider to be the best RPG of all time, Divinity Original Sin 2. Crafted meticulously by the godlike Larian Studios, Divinity Original Sin 2 is a phenomenally written masterpiece of an RPG that has an insane amount of replayability. I have probably done 8 or more full playthroughs throughout my time on this planet, and every single time I have discovered something new that I've never seen before. I mean, it took me 6 playthroughs to find out there's another entire area that I didn't even know existed in the game. No spoilers though. And Divinity's characters and combat make it so that the game never gets old. Not only that, but the build options and the ability to simply play solo as one character, or an entire party of 4, allows for completely different experiences with each run. Super sexy. There is so much to this game, and the design of it is quite frankly a masterclass of storytelling, combat mechanics, absolutely stunning voice acting and dialogue writing, just immaculate, and an overall immersive experience that makes you come, not crawling, but sprinting back for more as you can't wait to dive into another playthrough. I wish Divinity Original Sin 2 was a woman so I could marry it. What do we got next? Oh yeah, Kenshi, the game made by a gamer for gamers. Kenshi is a powerhouse of innovation. The beauty of Kenshi is that everything you do in the game improves your characters. You get your ass beat? Awesome, you just trained your defense. You run from a fight? Great, now you're sprint and dodge or leveling. Imprisoned? Perfect time to level lockpicking. Now this isn't new to gaming, mind you, but the way Kenshi implements it is very unique. But what makes Kenshi so replayable? That would be the fantastic sandbox nature of the game that allows you to make your own story. Kenshi is probably the most sandy sandboxy of sandbox games. I've done runs where I created a heavily armored mercenary company that would go around collecting bounties. I've done a playthrough where I made an entire city of 200 plus people. That was modded, by the way, because vanilla only allows a max of 30 people. That was a big trade hub where I would just farm and blacksmith and sell my crops and weapons to merchant caravans. Also did a slave route where I spawned in the religious fanatic slave pit of Rebirth and escaped freeing other slaves along the way, who then mostly joined my party, resulting in a massive slave revolt that we took across the entire continent. And one of my favorite playthroughs was a solo ninja run where I had this martial arts thief that would break into shops at night and steal everything and sell it elsewhere. With Kenshi, the sky's the limit on your imagination, and you can always come back to do another crazy build in whatever manner you wish. Replayability abound, ladies and gentlemen, yeah! Next up, we have an oldie but a goodie, Mountain Blade Warband. Here you have another intriguing sandbox game that entails you building up an army while completing various tasks around the map of Calradia. You have various factions you can build your army from, as well as join to serve as a vassal working your way up the good graces of the faction's leaders. Or you can choose to make your own faction, go to war with everyone, and just take over the map yourself. Break down. Needless to say, Mount & Blade Warband offers much when it comes to replayability. For starters, your main playable character has a pretty hefty amount of build options when it comes to their combat, leadership, and support skills. You can make them a bow and arrow shooting surgeon, or a giant polearm wielding cavalry charger. I like the two-handed swordsman myself. You can also recruit companions that have their own skills which you level up and assign as you wish, allowing for some good support units that speed up, train, or heal your army, or you can just make them outright beasts on the battlefield. It's all up to you. And on a side note, I am in the process of playing Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, which is the supposed successor of Warband that came out in October of 2022. I'll be doing a video on that pretty soon, and so far, rather enjoying it. It's not perfect, mind you, but I feel it scratches that Warband itch, so make sure to hit that notification bell to keep updated on that future video. But moving on, we have Risk of Rain 2. This one kinda hit me out of left field and totally took my breath away back when I first tried it. Since then, I've racked up roughly 300 hours and never find myself getting bored of it. Risk of Rain 2 is a third-person action shooter roguelite, and perhaps among one of the best roguelites ever made. The game is virtually flawless. The combat never gets old, the build variety allows for constant fun and innovation, the map pool is unique and interesting so it never gets old either, and the unlock pool is deep and vast, allowing for all kinds of things to look forward to in your progression. Risk of Rain 2 was one of the first roguelites I played, and it was a paramount in getting me heavily steeped into that oh-so-sensual genre. Give it a try if you haven't, ladies and gentlemen, because it is very much worth your time and money, and we'll always see you coming back to replay it over and over and over and over and over. Now we have one that probably isn't that surprising to many of you, and that is Terraria. What a lovely labor of love this game is, developed by just a few people that took to heart the philosophy of respecting the customer. Over the years, they have been noted to refuse having any Epic Games exclusives, as well as charging for any future DLCs for Terraria. On top of that, Terraria is a single $10 purchase nowadays, and once you buy it, you own it. Sound familiar?
The stuff that we make at Larian is we ask you to pay one price only for the game, and that's it. You can own it for the rest of your life.
Mad respect for the crew at Relogic, for they showed that you can put a good game out, respect the customer, and the money will flow in as a result. Because Terraria has sold about as many copies as your mom has late night visitors. And boy is Terraria a hoot. And with the constant updates over the years, it has more than enough content that warrants multiple playthroughs. Having a procedurally generated world helps, naturally, but the most fun part of Terraria, in my humble opinion, is building gigantic cool structures and bases with all kinds of gardens, railroad tracks, comfy rooms for the NPCs, and traps for various monster invasions. And with all the different items, environments, crafting trees, and more, there is always something to do, and restarting a new world is always a joy. And that's without even getting into modding, which adds a whole nother level to the beast that is Terraria. So if you're looking for replay value, Terraria's got your back for sure, yeah. Guess I wouldn't be a proper RPG fan if I didn't mention Baldur's Gate 3 and its replayability factor. Another Larian Studios masterpiece, second only to Divinity Original Sin 2 in my opinion, Baldur's Gate 3 has already racked up nearly 600 hours in my Steam library, with maybe 300 of those being within the first few months of its release. Like Divinity, there is a plethora of things to discover and uncover in Baldur's Gate 3. Every new playthrough will have you experiencing something new, discovering new storylines with NPCs that you didn't even know you could party with, uncovering hidden areas, experimenting with crazy builds, and more. I have about 6 full playthroughs in so far, and I still discover new things, just like in Divinity. And that was before I even touched mods. And given the quality of Larian titles, you can rest assured that Baldur's Gate 3 is meticulously handcrafted in the most awesome of ways, and will find you not wanting to leave your computer or console of choice, lest your heart longs too hard for the goddess Lae'zel. Long may she reign. Up next, we have Battle Brothers. This one isn't for the faint of heart. Battle Brothers is a fairly unforgiving and difficult tactical turn-based RPG that finds you running your own mercenary company, often into the ground. You build up your dudes through save scumming, through taking contracts and building relationships with various factions in order to get better contracts and gold to further build your crew. In Battle Brothers, you have to be willing to let some guys die on occasion, which can be disheartening when you spend 50 hours building up your dudes, but that's just the way the game goes, unless you save scum like yours truly. But despite all that, I find myself always going back to Battle Brothers to dump a good 30 hours into a new run. It's just a fun gameplay loop that doesn't really get old given the enemy variety and procedurally generated maps. The RNG is rough though, sometimes infuriating. But once you get the mechanics down, and especially if you have the patience to learn the game, you'll find yourself besting your enemies more than not. It just takes some time, but once you do invest that time, the return is worth it in my opinion. And the replayability is into the hundreds of hours. Give it a try if you got the stones. Now there's a ton more games I could recommend, but these are just some I chose that will hopefully cater to the different tastes of various patient gamers. I also have some review videos on most of these titles. If you guys are interested, just search Jarek Defiler in the tubes of you and you should find them, hopefully. What can I say, the algorithm doesn't like me very much. But before I let you go, here are a few quick honorable mentions that you might want to check out for more games with great replayability. Caesar 3, Old But Gold Ancient Rome City Builder. XCOM 2 with the War of the Chosen DLC, RNG hell with an addicting gameplay loop. Civilization 5 or 6 for that matter. I enjoyed them both, Grand 4X strategy kings as they are. Stellaris, or any Paradox games for that matter, more Grand 4X games that provide hundreds of hours each, but be warned, they do take some learning and Paradox is very scummy with their DLCs. Satisfactory, the best automated base building crafter out there in my opinion, can't get enough of it. Valheim, a great, albeit flawed with its stamina system and poor performance when building large bases, survival-based building crafter that will get you hundreds of hours, especially with mods that really improve it. Noita, physics-based pixel platforming roguelite that will fuck your ass. The heavenly essence that is the Mass Effect trilogy. Despite being a narrative-driven game, I have played through the Mass Effect trilogy at least 7 times, and I actually have another playthrough I started last year that I dabble in here and there. This is a game series that just never gets old, at least to me. Okay, that's enough from me. What do you guys think? Are there some games out there you think deserve an upper rank on everyone's replayability list? Let me know in the comments, as I'm always looking for new or old games to experience. Thanks for watching my supple little video, you supple little gamer you. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to spread me around and help the channel. This has been Jarek Defiler, replaying the replayables. You all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night depending on where you are. And Godspeed.